Hello and welcome to the Magic of Boots 40th edition, our episode. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta with me. We're recording at Western Canada, Pacific Canada time, 12th of August, 8:06 p.m. What's your time?
13th of August, 5 a.m. in the morning.
There you go, early riser. Um,
Yeah, that's
so
sort of like everyday routine.
that's great if you can do that. So Shudipta, Premier League have started last week.
Yeah.
So probably we want to talk a little bit about the games. How much you have watched? I didn't watch like a lot of games. I just seen Manchester City games, plus the Aston Villa games that Aston Villa lost. Also the Manchester United game. But we're going to talk about it slowly. First of all, what do you want to begin?
I watched Fulham, Liverpool,
Right.
and a bit of Leeds and Wolves.
Okay.
Also City games as well.
Sure. Why don't we start in Fulham versus Liverpool game?
Yeah, we can just start from there actually. Um, have you watched the highlights?
I did, and I was pleasantly surprised by Mitrovic. Not just Mitrovic. I mean, Fulham does look. I mean, it could be just one game. I hope I don't want to jinx them, but they looked really good.
Yeah, actually, Pep Guardiola was explaining to his last interview, not in interview, like pre-match press conference, that what it would be like to face a team who just promoted in the Premier League. So he was saying it's always difficult to play against them because you don't know.
What to expect?
Uh, Not really, but you don't know. They have sort of new mentality, like they just own or been in their uh, like first, second, third position in their league, and they just came and they are starting fresh and they are trying to give everything in the first two, three, four matches. So like after that, it would be a little bit easier because if they get defeated, then um, there are some sort of chance for big teams to continue sort of like a negative continuity to those teams, but
Yeah.
it's always hard to face them actually in the beginning, in the first three matches. So that's what I guess happened to Fulham versus Liverpool, I would say. And it was a lot less intensity from the midfield of Liverpool. Um, that's what I found. I watched it like 30 minutes. I had to catch a bus. So, but before that, as soon as Nunez came in, it's sort of like key change for them. But so far, what you said, like I did not expect them that for Fulham. Um, they're they're pretty consistent from back uh, to the front, and they actually exploited Liverpool a couple of more times.
Yeah.
Um,
They they were
they're
hitting on the break, and they're doing it in such an efficient manner. I mean, it looked like perfectly tailor made. Like you saw Liverpool in the Shield Community Shield Cup, and you saw
yeah,
that first game. It was totally different.
exactly. Also, there was a problem from Fulham's point of view because like last probably few matches they changed their goalkeepers and center backs a lot. They are trying to find. Probably they will try to buy one. They just signed a midfielder, so they're strengthening their midfield now, but they are also looking for a goalkeeper and a center back. And I can actually imagine that actually because there were some moments that Liverpool almost have them, especially after Nunez came in. So, but what was like brilliant for this team, um, that they actually completely exploited Trent Alexander Arnold. That is sort of brilliant. Like we saw that from big teams, but not not like this uh, in the Premier League from like team from a team at least just got promoted. So
And
at least
also,
in
this
England.
is probably the first time I've seen someone really eased past through or being a threat at least to the Virgil van Dijk. I mean, physically, he was Mitrovic was winning headers,
Yeah,
passing by and stuff like that. I thought he was brilliant.
yeah, that's true. But that I guess also dependent on the uh, Liverpool midfield, and there was a bad news actually from their side because Thiago Alcantara is injured and he will be out of games for the next few weeks. So that's another problem to deal with. And luckily, the transfer window is still open. So I don't know, like if they're going to bring someone new or um, try something else or something like that. But Fabio Carvalho is a good threat, but I don't know.
He needs probably a little bit of time to settle in as well as
Yeah, it will take a little bit more time actually.
yeah,
But so far, Nunez is like
it's tailor made.
like a key. Yeah,
Yeah,
sort of.
his presence is giving a lot of threat to the. I mean, there's with the previous three, there was always threat, but he's posing a very different kind of threat that Liverpool side I haven't really seen before. So yeah, it is interesting, especially to see how he's operating and he's liberating others' space. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, it's interesting, but first game Liverpool lost point, and that's given Liverpool and Manchester City goes really toe to toe for last 3-4 season at least.
Yeah.
Um, you don't want to lose points especially at start. I mean that's when hiccup kind of gets you. By the way, Manchester City cannot start any better their season, right?
Yeah, but I was going to ask you something like, do you think the Liverpool should audit or something like that with this
Not
team?
not not really worried. Look, they have bet on um, Thiago Alcantara, who has a history of injury, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they have this Carvalho, but I still think there is a bit of gap. Like I know Minamino was not really given a lot of chance, and he was sold. They definitely need. I think there's Nebikada, and then there are players, but I don't know what to make of it. It's just one game, but it could be two games,
Mhm.
3 games, and before you know, they're chasing, and that
Um, there are rumors going on with them and Brozovic in Italian media. Um, so, do you think it's a immediate solution? I don't know,
could be.
but so far, what we saw from Brozovic, like it could be a Fabinho
But
alternative,
but
or at least in some cases better than Fabinho.
yes, yeah, he's a really good passer. He can build up things, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'd be really really surprised if Inter let him go because he's one of the integral part of Inter Milan. Um,
No, so far, like what I read that like Inter is saying is not for sale or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's totally. I mean, if Inter is serious about winning Scudetto, they need Brozovic. So I would be really surprised if that happens.
Okay. Um, I sorry to interrupt. You are saying something about Manchester City.
Yeah, no, I was telling because we talked about Liverpool. It's logical to talk about their real rival on the title challenge, right? Manchester City has been wonderful. Everyone was waiting for Erling Haaland to score, and he did, not once. But yeah, just your high points for the game for City.
I texted you actually during the game, um,
Yeah, he did.
and as I was texting you, Gary Neville, and I was kind of Gary Neville was commenting the same thing that I was texting. Like almost, it seems like a second goal. It looked like Thierry Henry uh, finishing or something like that. But that like there's a hip twist. It's so similar, um, and so many people are talking, like comparing with him and Thierry Henry.
Oh, very different
Comparing with,
players.
yeah, true. But it was surprised to see him like a big player like him doing the this sort of thing.
Another Norwegian used to do that a lot. Tore Anders Flo. You used to be one of their top number 9. I mean, I remember he scored twice against Brazil in 1998, and also he was pretty good opening up the body and stuff like that, and also across. So definitely, some of the Norwegians are really really big guys. But Haaland is definitely a special talent, and the way he dispatched the first, obviously the penalty, it was also, incredible, that nerve that he has, right? He wanted to score and and prove a point, but overall, um, obviously we're talking about Haaland, but overall, how satisfied you are with the City getting the ball moving?
They actually did not give a chance to West Ham or anyway. I think from the beginning of the game, it seemed like a one team is playing. Um, I was sort of expecting at least some sort of like how can I say resistance from West Ham, given that like this is pretty much the same player, and we actually missed this talking about this player,
Skamaka,
Skamaska,
Skamaka,
Skamaka,
yeah,
um, joined from Sassuolo, right?
yeah.
Um,
He was
it's
one of the Inter Milan target for a long time, but yeah, West Ham got him.
yeah, it's sort of brilliant, like I saw a few matches of Sassuolo against some big teams, and how he was moving so far. But it's like Anthony is still there. They could have played both of the strikers, but it seems like there were some sort of missing something, and or they weren't actually aggressive enough to press City, um, especially in the back line. So um,
City were
Kyle Walker probably,
comfortable, very comfortable.
yeah, Kyle Walker probably have probably game of his life. Um, it was brilliant to watch actually from a fullback. Both of them, he and Cancelo, were inverted in the midfield. That brings me to the second points and some latest update with Manchester City. like Cancelo, and whenever he's playing with Grealish, because he has a tendency to move
Cutting.
towards the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Grealish has actually uh, same tendency to be there. So like sometimes they being in the same space or like same half line, if you think about vertically. So that was sort of a problem for City for a while. I think that actually wasn't unnoticed by Pep Guardiola. So like they bought Sergio Gomez from PSV, and I don't know if you followed him last season. He was like he scored probably 4 to 6 goals and made like 14 to 16 assists.
Uh, I've
Um,
seen a little bit of bits and pieces, not really frequently, but yeah, he looked good technically, very good player.
yeah. Also, he had a tendency to stay beside the line and move make those like sort of late run towards the box, like around the box. He's not like moving all the time, but especially in the counter attack. And uh, there comes the second goal of Manchester City. Grealish actually found the ball just outside of the Man City box, and he somehow controlled it against the challenge and push it forward to probably I don't know who was it, and Haaland was involved. Then it came to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne made this pass. So like Guardiola was mentioning there's those sort of small things from Grealish, and Grealish is I think in pressure, especially like Sterling left and Gabriel Jesus left, two big players from uh, Manchester City side. So and he actually was losing balls sometimes, like making some mistakes in the first half, and but in the second half he looked pretty a little bit more solid than the first half. So that's another thing actually. I don't see. Uh, there are still doubts, like it's still early in the season, but so far it looks hopeful for a Manchester City, and Sergio Gomez can actually play in those matches like where, and he's also like good in counter attacking as well. And uh, in the interview there were the interviewer was asking like if a goal comes from counter attack, um, does it make you happy? He was asking to Pep Guardiola, and he was saying like it doesn't matter actually. It depends on the quality of players, and they're the one who actually decides what's going on. And I the one who actually like just I just want them to happy or something like that. He was saying something. So like I don't see City uh, falling in qualities, given that like there are big changes actually, like those players especially like Sterling um, is sort of like Pep Guardiola's how can I say um, secret weapon if he's not in the first team. um, so
Are you saying
I don't
Sterling?
see. Yeah,
Okay.
because he brought him last if I am not wrong, like some important matches, like when City was trailing, he needed some movements in the forward, and his Sterling is like what can I say, more than capable of like one of the best probably exploring those spaces behind back four or back five. Um, so yeah,
Okay.
what's your thought?
No, I thought I think you covered. City were composed. I think they were almost too perfect, and obviously West Ham led them
Yeah,
to a certain extent, especially first 20, 25 to even 30 minutes. I mean, they were kind of looked like not going to engage, and by that time, City already started to feel good about them, and
yeah, that's another decision. Like they're playing with Lanzini, who is actually good in like holding the balls, and but he's not sort of like he was sort of out of the game from the beginning.
yeah,
But there weren't any like changes from David Moyes, which was surprising.
yeah. No, I thought it was surprising given that this is their first game of the season, and they kind of went down without any kind of resistance. Let's put it this way.
Yeah,
Other than that, City played the way they should have like played on their when Guardiola probably explaining how the players are going to move and stuff like that. Everything was there. So nothing to add. They're like a machine at this point. And first game win is I mean West Ham is not an easy opponent. Always, it's an important win for them. Let's move. I mean I don't have anything else to add.
what about Erling Haaland?
Oh, Hala.
Why German tax, or sorry, Premier League tax is not applying to him or something like that? Are you familiar with this term?
No.
So like it's basically um I don't know like where it's probably it was like I saw that in the video with Tifo IRL. I don't know JJ or someone else telling about it. Like basically, if you are coming from another league and if you're playing at a high level
Mhm.
or scoring like 20 goal a season or something in Premier League, you are supposed to the amount of goal or the amount of performance is supposed to be a little bit drop, and this drop is called Premier League tax or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Again, I don't have much idea about it. If it's true, then let's wait for it. Uh, let's see,
Yeah,
because in 1 week people were upset about him and calling him as a fraud and stuff like that, and second week, then he starts to play a little better. Just remind you, he just came back from a huge injury as well from the early season. So it
that's what Pep was saying like after the match, because he probably played like 90 minutes for the first time in 5 months.
exactly.
Um,
So
so
whatever, like the people started to, especially the Twitter people and the social media people, starts to expect things like they're seeing a show, like a screenwriter or script writer is there and they can write anything, right? It's not like that. This is real world, real football, and I don't know how many of them actually played ever, even in lower league or Sunday league sort of game, right? It's not easy, whatever you ask. But yeah, Haaland was brilliant. Glad that he started this way, and he's going to score a lot, definitely. But what was important that he was not just scoring wise because he's going to score, but he was linking up fairly well. Plus, his positioning was kind of. I thought it was pretty intelligent as well.
yeah, that's another thing. Like he can even accelerate even within the box, and that is like scary. And West Ham was digging deep, but still he was like sprinting towards the ball inside the box and like tried. And his finishing is still um, pretty much like world class in those accelerations. So it would be tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Like a huge man, not easy to track, and then you don't have much space as a defender, and he's coming at a pace, right? 99 point, well, 90 95% time.
And he has also have accuracy. Like
Right.
It's unbelievable.
And 95% time you're going to make a wrong decision on him, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
Let, let's move on from Manchester City because there's a other Manchester side which didn't really start it very well. Your thought on first game of Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag era?
I was actually, how can I say, watched a few minutes. So bored. I actually, um, because by that time Brighton already scored probably once or twice. I forgot actually. Um, and the thing is that with Brighton actually, some players impressed me from that game actually. The fact, like everyone was talking about obviously Pascal because he scored the goals, both of them. But I was impressed with Danny Welbeck and Lalana, how they were playing, because well, at some point he actually the Welbeck was reminded me of early Drogba type of situations, because he was fighting with United defenders, but with a ball which was like bouncing in the field, and nobody is getting near but him. Uh, that's like sort of how can I say, genius actually, like genius play from their side. And they are actually like also what's his name, Marsh. He was actually like in the right side. He was actually, both of them actually able to get some free kick out of Manchester United, which actually freaks them out. And they are they are really brilliant in the transition. And Manchester United, they actually selectively press. Like they did not actually went for like
No,
all
no,
courses. And
for sure. Because
and for some reason like they just knew, like like we have to press this guy, or we have to press this guy, and they making those like overloads. Like
yeah,
it's brilliant transition, like from Brighton's point of view.
well, poor Fred and McTominay because they were getting pressed, and rightly so because Potter knew that Eric Ten Hag team will start from back, right? So
Yeah,
and Fred, unfortunately, if he's pressed, he does lose his sight, and also he's not. Is the only way he can get out is by short passing. Like someone else has to come down, and that's why Ericsson was coming down in first half because he was not getting ball. And that's the other part I didn't understand why Erik Ten Hag had Ericsson as a false nine when nobody was actually giving him the ball from the midfield, right?
he
And
was. Yeah, he was actually dropping. I don't know, as much as McTominay and Fred, and
exactly,
try to get the ball there.
yeah, because he wanted to be that extra body, but then that's where they lost the game. They needed. That's why they need. I mean, I can understand why they want Frankie De Jong, right? Because they needed a pivot player who can pass and be press resistant and also can be frequently just break in from there. Fred and McTominay is unfortunate. McTominay can run actually, but he was, I don't know, for certain reason getting overloaded by the Brighton players, and from then on I thought uh, I mean Brighton is just a well drilled team and very good coach team. I mean Graham Potter, this we don't mention much about him, but he's very technically brilliant coach.
Yeah, it's probably the first time in their history they won in Old Trafford.
Yeah, it's huge.
So he made some sort of like Harry Pottery magic or something, I don't know. But yeah, um, apart from
So there,
looks like
so
they
Manchester
they
United is getting.
another thing,
Go ahead.
yeah, another thing about them actually, like they change the players, but the system actually, because of the system and because of the quality of the player, it's the same, output from Brighton, and that I think that is what missing in the United side right now. And there are some ridiculous speculation going on. You remember this West Ham striker Arnaud? What's his name?
Araukovic or something. Uh,
Arnautovic or
yeah,
Arnautovic.
he was in. He had a very good season actually, to be honest, in Bologna, right?
Yeah,
Last season, but he's 33
yeah,
years old, and
yeah.
then the Twitter fan base basically erupted. They don't want him, so they just stopped pursuing this guy.
That actually proves our theory. Like we were talking about this thing.
United goes by their fan base and the ex
United
pundit,
goes Bengals.
ex players who are
Yeah,
pundits right now. So
yeah.
yeah, no. First of all, it didn't make any sense why he was being chased, and then the drop on based on how the fans reacted, or the ex player reacted. The other part is that interesting to me is they're getting Adrian Rabiot. Obviously, Rabiot would be a little bit an upgrade to what already
How like I saw the stats. It's pretty much the same as
McTominay.
Fred.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, McTominay is actually better.
yeah. No, I
Um,
the reason I'm saying that
Defensively, almost similar to McTominay, but creatively, McTominay is better, and
only
Fred is
thing
better creatively.
is he's better than Fred is diagonal balls, which Fred doesn't play.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
so that might be the only reason I cannot really defend here Rabiot, but
But he pushed like he played almost as similar as McTominay because McTominay is not like making those passes, but he's like carrying the ball
yeah,
forward, and Rabio is the same sort of player. So like I don't know,
yeah.
but
It's
is Frankie De Jong coming to Old Trafford or
That's
no?
a
Okay,
entirely different story. But am I too dark? Do I need to switch on the lights?
yeah,
Yeah, just a sec.
little bit, please.
Yeah. So yeah, on that note, anything else on United, because a lot of things are going on, and right now they're also linked with Mauro Icardi as well. So
Icardi would be a good signing, but
well, Icardi
yeah,
needs crosses though.
yeah.
Who's
But
putting?
in the preseason, Rashford was doing okay in the left side, especially. But I don't know about Sancho. But he seems like on and off. And now that like everyone knows, like United needs players, and everyone was asking too much from them.
Yeah, no, that's how the transfer market works, right? But
Yeah.
coming back to um, United's problem. I mean, it will take longer time than what uh, what I expected. It might be midway.
Actually, this was the season. This should have been the season they targeted players and buy at least take 2 3 players, but because otherwise they would have to go into the again like in the winter transfer window
Panic buying.
and again, yeah, panic buy or someone. So that's like for the last 10 years that's sort of their things, buying players in panic and um, not getting rid of those players who were still there. Um, well, they got rid of some of them actually, but still there are few. How can I say? Few with there.
No, for sure. Let's not dwell on Manchester United because they'll keep doing the same thing. Other games such as Um, Chelsea game.
Oh,
Did you?
it was sort of
It was fairly boring.
no, yeah, um, and Chelsea doesn't have firepower, so
Yeah, it was a
uh,
marginal win, but
yeah. Also, like Everton is doing everything they can to not conceding.
yeah,
So it was sort of like a stalemate. But it was good to see that like Starling is playing in the front, basically leading the Chelsea side for 90 minutes. But they really need an alternative or
for sure, for
some
sure,
other ideas.
for sure. Um,
I think they are actually after are they
Aubameyang.
Fofana or something?
Oh,
Yeah,
Fofana, yeah,
Aubameyang, but
for sure, Fofana too. Yeah,
but Aubameyang, I don't think it's going to happen so far.
maybe
Because
because Xavi likes him.
yeah,
So on that note, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on Everton versus Chelsea game, but Chelsea looked a little bit underwhelming, which we kind of talked before that they might. But on the other hand, Tottenham had a very expansive kind of win.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, and like best thing from that game is that like Son and Harry
Hurricane,
Kane was not even in the score sheet,
yeah,
but they still looks like Kulusevski was brilliant. Um, so does actually Eric Dyer. Um, whenever he was playing, but still I have doubt about Davis. Maybe they need someone on the left
they
as well.
might, they might. I mean, Ben Davies can be sometime, yeah, sometime can be a little bit underwhelming, but sometime can be fairly good too. Um, but I think so far, whatever I've seen a glimpse of Tottenham, if I think they've won out of last 22 games, I think they've won like 20 or something or 21.
Yeah, and this team sort of like how can I say is becoming more Conte team, and the more they becoming Conte team, they are finding a sort of identity, uh, and probably one or two players, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have actually anything else to add.
No, I don't too, but I was a little bit surprised to see Bournemouth winning against Aston Villa because I I didn't know what to expect from Bournemouth basically, but they kind of looked fairly good on that win.
Actually, Aston Villa was poor, especially last. If you remember, in the preseason, even in the last few games, they were actually poor. Even they scored like two goals against Manchester City and tried to hold them for a while. But it's a new season. They should have actually play a little bit differently. I thought there will be more attack, like even they have players like Ramsey and Coutinho, and they brought Kamara, um, so it could have been a little bit, more physical, but maybe they need a little bit time,
Yeah,
you know.
maybe it needs a little bit of time to kickstart everything, right? So
But
um,
next match is against Everton, and it's against Lampard versus Gerrard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Any favorite
Well, by the way, it's I don't I don't actually like both of them at this point, to be honest.
as a manager or as a player?
As a manager, as a player, I actually like both of them. But so far, I think Gerard has stick with Coutinho. I think it's not clicking as much. Um,
Yeah.
Coutinho, I understand he's very talented and stuff like that, but he can be a very, very, how to put it, very, very frustrating player at times. And he had like one, two, three or good performances, some mediocre performance, and then he's switched off. He's not someone that's going to change the game. So
Yeah,
let's see
but
if
Buendia, Watkins,
I think way
they're
better at this
there.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
Also,
if Gerard is sticking
Mings
with them,
was
yeah.
yeah. Also, Mings was yeah, on the bench for some reason. I don't know.
So yeah,
Probably injury, but he is.
it's again I don't know. So Gerard has the team, but I don't know. And Lampard, uh, I don't know what to say about his managerial. And to be honest, Everton doesn't have as much as resources. Last
That's
season,
true actually. Like they are trying to bring some academy player from Chelsea and probably from Arsenal as well. Um, from
so it's
Chelsea,
very
and
limited.
they're yeah, and they are trying to bring Hudson Odoi permanently because he is not given any chance in Chelsea. Uh, but I don't know if it's going to happen or something. But they're trying to find some players. They sold probably they got some money actually from Richarlison and other deals, but they are also struggling with money. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. No, I don't have anything else to add, to be honest.
Actually, as we were recording our last episode, Crystal
Arsenal.
Palace versus Arsenal was going on.
All right, I should have mentioned that I did watch first two episodes of Arsenal Amazon Prime. Uh, uh,
I actually watched so far 6 episodes were released.
yeah, so
Uh,
far I definitely want to watch actually right now, but I was really hooked in. I thought it was very well done, at least the start of it. You know
yeah,
how it was started and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, and not wanted to spoiler or something like that. Spoil you for some reason. I will spoil this.
Spoil
Sorry.
this.
Um, thing is that like how they handled the Aubameyang situation is it was actually more interesting, and I was thinking about United situation with Ronaldo right now. So yeah, like if you remember, like it's not like like I have to put my authority in the team. It also like you have to sometimes make hard decision,
Tougher decision for the
yeah,
well-being of the team,
and
right?
yeah, and if you remember, like there were tougher decision in the beginning of the career of like Jose Mourinho or even Pep Guardiola was benching Ronaldinho, who was like at the time the best player Barcelona ever had, you know, arguably. Um, uh, I don't remember who else actually. There,
Yeah, Deco. Certain things sets the tone
yeah,
for other players to follow, and then that starts a new culture. So they definitely, I
yeah,
guess, needed that.
yeah, and they actually performed it pretty well, like for few times, and there were talks like they actually it was really interesting for me. Like I don't know if you like felt it because like that is the season we started doing this podcast, and we actually covered those games, like, and something was coming back for me, like I was talking this with you and you were talking this with back to me and stuff like that, and it was like more, like we can I don't know for some about you, but I was more engaged
No,
in this.
I was remembering each time I had a perception and what's going on inside, right?
Yeah,
Gives
and
you a
I
very different
remember
perspective.
telling you like yeah, before our left, there were times like in January, Arsenal did not score a goal. Um, they were playing more over 450 minutes, and they weren't even
Not
able to
scoring goals.
score a
Yeah.
goal in Premier League. Yeah, that is the time actually they there were like probably Arteta was more on pressure
Yeah.
than ever at the time. So
Yeah.
I don't want to
And
spoil
no, no, I don't want
anything.
to spoil or something, but I did like the way he said about his uh, emotional status and stuff like that. He's under the curve, but he still believes in the team and stuff like that. I think he has obviously he's been assistant to Pep, and also being himself as a player, he knows a lot. But it gives that opportunity to see how the manager manages in certain clubs, right? And
Yeah, also like there are some academy players from Arsenal who he was like playing with, like Chambers or some other players. He had to make those hard decisions because he was there in the as a club captain when he will probably retired early, like 2 seasons early, just to be the assistant of Pep Guardiola. But yeah, there were players. Probably Granit Xhaka played with him. I don't know, remember. Uh,
it did, yeah.
so yeah, there are some situations like that, and he actually like, okay, I am going to do this with you or without you. Uh, those sort of situation, and they only have like regular performers like 4 or 5 players, I guess, and that was another problem. And most of them are like really young; they don't know how to manage the game. So like he was focusing on managing the some games. Like there were Wolves games, and probably there are some other games. Actually, I don't remember. They actually managed like he actually used the words before they left, like manage the game or stuff like that. And it was actually, yeah, there comes like like what's going on in the behind the club, like you were talking about Twitter people and stuff like that. And you don't know
All the
what's going
all the
on.
all the Twitter people can do is create more pressure. Other than that,
Mhm, yeah,
I don't, I don't really. I mean, you cannot club a professional. You cannot run a professional club or your transfer policy or anything based on Twitter's opinion or poll. It just cannot happen.
yeah, true. That's the same thing we talked about Barcelona.
Yeah, no, it's Barcelona is a different beast. Let's not even try to touch that because we'll touch it
Yeah, definitely.
once we move. So are we have we talked enough about this Crystal Palace game? The 2-0 win,
mm, Actually, I we could not watch the game
because we were
as
recording.
we were recording.
I was watching
Yeah,
the highlights as well. Yeah.
yeah. I saw Saliba was playing. There were few, I don't know, excitement about him. Um, well, he looked so solid. Like it reminds me of like those. Uh, how can I say, like what's his name? I forgot actually. This famous Arsenal defender. Um, it just keeping coming in my mind.
Uh, yeah.
But yeah, like he looked solid, and I think he has a, if he keeps developing, he still needs to. Uh, what brilliant about him, he did not made any sliding tackle, but he was still able to make all the tackles correctly. So that's like a brilliant day for a defender, you know. And Ben Stoko is playing in the right so far. I think he and Tomiyasu will switch. Or what I so far think about Arsenal, that like Arteta was trying to build a team who can actually change the shape in the middle of the game, because if the game needs them to. So that's another thing. Like they can actually become like three defender and Bukayo Saka 13, and he actually played as wing back for England. So uh, they actually this is another how can I say dimensionability for this team. And I was surprised actually on to see Crystal Palace like the highlights of the game like in the first half, but Crystal Palace was like trying to get back, and Arsenal showed a bit character to overcome those pressure. And like there were like I don't know like I saw that in the YouTube, like there were chants and everything against Arsenal uh, in the Palace Stadium. It was one of the toughest stadium probably so far.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's another thing. But I was surprised to see Palace was missing those chances. That's actually credit goes to Ramsdale. They got a brilliant keeper there, but at least they could have scored once. Crystal Palace.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I don't have actually much to add. You basically covered almost everything. And also from highlights, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't see much other than the attacks. Coming, have is there any other EPL game that we have not covered?
Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest,
Oh, I didn't actually see that.
and
I
Leicester versus Brentford.
and Nottingham Forest has a Canadian player, although he was not even in the bench. So I decided not to see.
Um, can we move on?
Yeah. So if we are fine, we can move on to La Liga that's basically started today. And the first game,
Yeah.
Osasuna beat Sevilla 2-1. Um, I was watching the game, uh, but yeah, again, Sevilla would be really, really disappointed. Obviously, they considered the second goal in penalty, which was, again, I'm not sure if that's the right call, but either way, it's a bad start for Sevilla and a great start for Osasuna. And the good thing about Osasuna is that Chimiavia is healthy, and hopefully he stays healthy. And then when he's healthy, they look a very different team and very different threat.
Um, I was like, how can I say? Um, Probably in the last episode, I was saying like I was worried about Sevilla,
Yeah,
right? So that's not a good start from them. But yeah, I missed the game, and as I was in sleep,
no,
I tried to
I couldn't
watch the
remember.
highlights.
I couldn't remember the game was going on, so I started a little late, and then obviously
Okay.
it was already, there's 1-0 down, and then Sevilla came back 1-1. But I think Sevilla need a very good, better striker than Rafa Mir. I mean, I can't believe Rafa Mir is playing for Sevilla. I mean, Sevilla has to be one of the top four, at least top on the top 4 or 5 teams in Spain, and they have Rafa Mir as striker. That's not the striker you want.
Maybe I used to have good strikers, like
Yeah,
so far I remember, like whoever playing in this Sevilla side, he is like
yeah,
is always good. Like, but they could have actually played Eric Lamela even as a striker. You know?
yeah,
Like how much did like he give gave output? I think Eric Lamela, if this team was playing as a false nine, I think they could have actually have a chance because like Ocampos was pushing a little bit, getting a little bit more space behind the back, and Aquina pushing from the left hand side. That's why they actually looked dangerous.
yeah. No,
But
again, Rafa Mir scored today, but that doesn't really take away his. He misses most normal chances that you expect him to score. Very tall player. I don't know what is wrong. It's maybe composed, like he's probably not as composed. But again, Rafa Mir cannot be your sole striker if you're really going for the Champions League spot.
Yeah, and Betis is like I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Technically, it starts all other games, tomorrow.
But
But
Villarreal are also like in the good shape.
yeah,
Like
they've got Lo Celso in the loan as well, and Villarreal has interesting players, so it would be interesting.
yeah, they will at least this season they will fight for the Champions League spot.
Yeah, yeah. And Barcelona somehow managed to register their players except Jules Koundé,
Okay.
who's still waiting. But other players got Cassie Christensen, um, Lewandowski. Who else was there? Sergio
All
Berto.
of them like
Yeah,
Sebs, yeah, Dembele.
yeah, Dembele. So Barcelona would play, I think, Rayo Vallecano tomorrow, and
Let me check.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Vallecano.
So yeah, so all the players are available except Kunde.
Well, he just joined, so like probably he is not going to get any minutes anyway. So
Yeah,
probably that's the reason. And there are, I think Mingueza already left.
for
There are
Celta Vigo.
talks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, Celta Vigo.
Nico.
I was going to say the Celta Vigo has a very interesting team too. I was just watching what they have collected from like parts here, parts there, and that can be an interesting team. Let's see what Vigo can do. And
Celta Vigo is doing the same thing in the last season, if you remember, or the season before.
I think the season before, yeah,
Season before, yeah,
yeah. And you talked about Nico Gonzalez, who's left for Gattuso's Valencia to get
yeah.
some minutes. So, what's your thought on that?
Actually, it was done. Um, I guess it was before there was a talk before their US tour. There was a talk. Then Gavi was sort of like thinking about him as a backup for Busquets, and then Pjanic joined the team, and he was now convinced that Pjanic is getting more time than Nico. So and yeah, he's just letting him go to get some minutes, and also like I guess that's another reason for him to move to Valencia because of Gattuso, because we know how he was as a player. So probably that's another reason, um, I guess.
No, yeah, Barcelona have. It is interesting the way the whole window of transfer happened and the uncertainty. They had to sell certain parts, and then came money, and there's uncertainty, and they have to sell. So yeah, never short of drama. But to be honest, right now, do you think they can challenge Real Madrid with this squad?
Yeah, they should actually with these players. Otherwise, it would be sort of a failed season or something like that. Because without uh, all those players, they were at the time like theoretically or mathematically they were up until I guess 33, 34 matches they were in the league, but they had to make it in the 38, or like they had to finish the league before 38 game. So yeah, that's another thing actually. And there are some concerns. I don't know, like like if you think as a 11, like there are few backups, like two what Zabi said last season, like he wants at least two of the same players in the same level players in the for a position, and I think this team has almost in every position they have two, um,
except probably right back.
except for yeah, except right back. But like for left back, there are some there will be some output like changes in output, but pretty much the same thing what we are expecting.
I think the other one we didn't mention is Alex Collado moving loaned out to Elche.
Yeah, Colorado was going there. It was pretty much expected. He was loaned out last season as well. So I don't know. That's another thing. But do you think like I don't know about the monetary situation about or another thing with Frankie De Jong.
Well, Frankie was harassed by the fans because Frankie's he took a paid deferral. Like he took whatever was the contract. He took 1/4 of the money in promise that in future, like after a couple of years, he's gonna get double or triple. Now this current Barcelona board um, is saying that that's not correct. Obviously, because of the previous board have done something, and that's not players' fault or players' agent's fault. They have a contract in place. All they've done is just deferred the amount, right? And now Barcelona is saying, current board is saying we can that particular contract that the previous board have signed is not legally correct. You can only get the amount you agreed in first place. So you're not going to get double or triple. So the situation are precarious, and also given Frankie De Jong's not moving to Manchester United without getting his due, whatever the amount was left over from Barcelona, I don't see him moving out in any other club, to be honest.
Okay, well then there is nobody else I guess to sell except for Depay. I don't know. There is an interest from Juventus.
There's strong link with him in Juventus, but before that he wants to be a free agent.
Oh, okay. I guess it makes sense for some reason because like he wants to get some sort of bonus or signing bonus or something like that, which actually he sort of sacrificed when he was joining Barcelona. So that makes sense in a way.
No, it does make sense, and it's a very good signing for Juventus if they get him.
Yeah. Um. Well, yeah, he can actually play in the left, so they can actually, uh, yeah, they can actually be a good team if there aren't any drama or anything
Well,
else.
Rabiot is moving to Manchester United. Now
Yeah,
they're after Paredes, who's like $15 million. Uh, it's a
but
good.
is PSG is going to let him go or
Yeah,
this doesn't make any sense. Shit. Okay.
because
Uh,
Paredes
but
wants regular minute in first team before
yeah,
World Cup, and PSG probably cannot provide him that at this point.
yeah, and Guido is getting regular minutes uh, in
In
La Liga,
Betis,
so the
and also
in
there
Betis, yeah.
there's a lot of like Manchester United is already linked with a lot of players, and Guido is one of them. Um, but uh,
But Guido would be a good sign, like
but you don't want to
compared
get
to
into Manchester United,
I know,
not before World Cup, probably after. Yeah, if you want to make money. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, like Lisandro Martinez, like in the second goal of the Manchester United, like Maguire was like,
He was so out of place, and
yeah,
he asked Lisandro to cover him, which he did, and eventually Maguire didn't track back enough, right?
yeah, it was a mess. So
Yes.
like, yeah, I don't know. Like it would be, yeah, for him, he will get definitely gonna get some minutes in United, but I don't know.
Now United might get better. I mean, with training, and obviously, players like Maguire has to. I don't know.
Yeah,
He has to get in his senses. But yeah, not going back to there. But that's what I'm talking about in terms of whole dynamic of transfers of players, like moving here and there. And so Memphis Depay moving to Juventus may be a very good signing for Juventus at this point. And also there is Real Madrid just won the Super Cup, European Super Cup against Frankfurt.
yeah.
Um, Obviously, Benzema is brilliant, and it was time for Ancelotti to say that nobody else can replace Benzema. It was a little hinted towards a certain great of Real Madrid who wants to come back to Real Madrid, probably from Manchester United. Uh,
Do you think it would be a problem for them because given that like this season is going to be a long season and World Cup and on-site, um, like France, I don't know, like if they break the cars, they are going to play few more matches.
no,
Uh,
yeah, no, it's look. Real Madrid is Karim Benzema dependent, definitely.
yeah,
And Karim Benzema is in his form of his life. At least he didn't get that exposure, right?
yeah.
When Ronaldo was there, and it is definitely going to be interesting. There will be a lot of stress on him, but if he keep doing it, that's great. But it, what if there is an injury because he's not a Springs chicken anymore? Um, so it's going to be an interesting. There has to be some backup for Benzema, which Madrid doesn't have.
So far, they
Uh,
are going to play, I guess, what's his name? Mariano Diaz,
yeah,
and
yeah.
thereafter Bayer Leverkusen striker. He's like 17 years old. What's his name? I forgot actually. He was actually with La Masia, and last season or the season before, actually he moved out.
Okay.
Um, Terminate the contract or something, or the end, like contract was ended, and he did not want to renew. There was a drama going on with this. But yeah, congratulations to them, Real Madrid, for
For the
the Super Copa. Yeah, it's a good way to actually start a season. But we are still on the like this. What does it call, like Super Cup of La Liga on December, right? And like with
in Saudi Arabia.
okay, okay, this thing is still going on, right?
Yeah, thanks to PK.
Okay. Um, I don't know. Like it's hard to expect from Real Madrid right now.
But
Like
it might make sense because of the World Cup, right? So they don't have to
yeah,
travel much from Qatar.
yeah. Well, it makes, I don't know, whatever sense it is, but yeah, like it could have been like a little less game for those players. That's another thing with whoever playing in this sort of tournament. Like most of the Real Madrid players are expecting to have a like a deep World Cup season. I don't know, like especially, yeah, most of them actually. So at least for the, if you were playing at the second round, it's like December there already.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't have anything else. It would be interesting to see La Liga tomorrow.
Yeah,
Also, if when the Serie A is starting.
I think it's already started.
Syria.
Okay. Uh,
It's at least no. It's starting tomorrow. Milan versus Udinese is a
um, for me, it's today.
oh
Yeah.
right, right, right. So yeah, no, just excited to see all other leagues starting, and yeah, a lot of expectations. But what's your thought on PSG so far?
Um, we are seeing some bling bling from there.
After Nasser
I
Al
don't know if it,
Khelaifi basically said that, to started bling bling. Yeah,
yeah, but they have started bling bling. Especially he scored, I guess, 3 goals and three made 3 assists.
you're talking about
Neymar,
Neymar. Yeah.
yeah, and playing brilliant actually, uh, supplying balls to both of the players. And as we mentioned in the last episode, um, both of them are a little bit trying to find them together. And
Neymar is
actually,
especially needs that. Even in the Brazilian
yeah,
national team, he needs a certain person to
so
incorporate.
does Messi.
Yeah.
Like they are good in one-to-ones, and it's sort of like a system for those players. And if they are overloaded with defenders, they try to release the ball and try to change the direction of the team, and it actually helps the teammates as well. So get attract defender and find some space for the teammates.
So who wants
Um,
Mbappe in this whole Messi Neymar thing? Because
Actually,
he might spoil, right?
not really. Actually, he was sort of how can I say? Um, he was doing the final stroke of the this artwork or something like that. But he was also involved in some goals, like the link up play,
Well,
especially in the to the middle.
Mbappe didn't play because of injury, I guess. It was Sarabia.
He no actually one match he played
Oh,
as a substitute.
you're talking about that cup game, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so he
but
was also linked up to it. But
ha,
it will take a little bit time because he just came up out of injury. But he still so far looks a little bit good.
by the way, have you seen
Um,
the posters from Real Madrid fans saying Mbappe with zero and saying Champions League on the back of their
yeah.
shirt? That's funny. People with creative ideas. Uh,
Also, I saw another one in YouTube. Like there was a poster of Laporte, and he's holding different teams' jersey. You know,
Barcelona's away jersey.
yeah,
Uh,
it was fun, fun to watch actually.
it is. Although not a Real Madrid fan, but yeah, can take that tasty bit of banter. Um,
Yeah. Also, I guess saw it. Like I shared the Spider-Man, Arsenal. Like all Gabriels are playing in Arsenal.
uh,
That was also funny.
uh, but coming back to PSG and Messi and Neymar, you watched the Messi bicycle goal, right? Bicycle goal.
Yeah. Um,
So
but
finally,
there was a free kick goal from Neymar that was more for me at least. Like
no, no, and
it was
that,
brilliant.
uh, yeah, very different goal. But the thing about Messi goal, which was really impressive, was Paredes because of his pass, his immaculate passing. And I don't still understand why PSG is willing to sell him. It's beyond my
I
understanding.
think there are some sort of like South American quota or something like that. They bought Vitinha and they are getting rid of another
No,
South
but
American.
Paredes already has an Italian passport.
Yeah, that's true. But the problem with this structure, I think I haven't actually seen Vitinha and him playing together.
Yeah,
Um, or did they play? I don't remember.
a little,
But
not for long.
whenever he was playing, he, he was like really good in defensively, but also he was like the wide range of like his passing range is really wide. Like
Yeah,
he was making those true passes for Mbappe from the back. It was sort of like missing in the PSG's game. And whenever he was playing in the last season, he was actually sort of, in my eyes, he was the man of the match so far.
yeah,
So it would be a suicidal decision, at least for them, for them and their supporters.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have anything else to add really. From
Any prediction for Syria?
no, I hope pretty good fight from Inter Milan, and
I So far it's not going well from Inter's point of view.
no, and also Juventus is assembled a fairly good team too. So it's they're definitely some players who has flares, and obviously if Mbappe joins, sorry, not Mbappe, Depay, Memphis joins, it would be interesting. But even without Memphis, they're fairly good because they have Chiesa and what's the guy name? Um,
Di Maria,
No, Di Maria, and then in the middle, the ex-Fiorentina striker,
Vlahovic.
Vlahovic, yes, yes. So, and also Napoli made some very late moves. They've got what I was interested to see was Brand Ruiz was on the radar of PSG because PSG wants to sign Brand Ruiz from Napoli, and so Napoli is selling or loaning out a lot of players, and they got I think Giovanni Simeone in loan as well. So let's see how Napoli does. It's an interesting season for them.
Um, who could be the fourth team?
I think Roma has a very good chance.
I was going to mention that actually. I saw their game. If you have seen already the last game, they scored probably 5 or 6 goals.
Yeah,
Um,
some of the passing was
this
great. The,
It was brilliant to watch, like one twos, and one twos. It's like um, something else, and I guess Pellegrini is like really brilliant. Mancini is like another. How can I say? Uh,
Very
Big
efficient
piece
player.
for the
Yeah,
team. Yeah,
yeah. And you have
and I think
Spinazzola on the left flank, right? Um,
yeah,
you have
but only um, I guess what's his name? Dybala just getting started. I guess. But he's still linking up with Abraham. Is like um, almost sort of like they're playing for a while
yep,
together.
yeah. No, it's been whatever I've seen so far. It looks great, and what I can see is Mourinho having fun. So it could be a very fun season for from Roma, and they have a for just to let you know that first 2 or 3 games Roma supporters have bought all the tickets so far in advance
Oh,
because that's a I think there are only 3 games tickets are available and that's just booked in advance, so it
and
is
also
crazy.
like how their team is doing, like how they're replacing players, like like making those puzzles. And I don't think Abraham will be there in the for a third season. I don't see Mourinho. I don't know. He could leave, but if he stays there, there will be some changes. And if he stays there for a long time, I see sort of a dynasty creating there, like already, because those players they're really young and they can play like at least 2, 3, 4 more years easily.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree. Anything to add?
Mm. No, not much actually. Nothing actually, basically.
So no, we were talking for a long time. At this point, we want to wrap it up. Thank you again for watching. If anyone is watching, uh, please leave us comments, likes, any final comments, Shudipta?
Not much. As we were mentioning probably in the last episode, we are trying to sell our channels 25%. I
Now,
guess
say for example, if we
sell,
have to sell our 25%, who's selling what part? Maybe that back doors and everything has to sell, and I don't know what your curtain looks like, but that has to be sold.
no, that's like my whole everything,
Oh,
every
good.
every clothes.
So that might be your 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if anyone is interested to buy, we don't scam.
We can, yeah, we can bring another guest in the show
Hopefully,
finally.
hopefully. But for that, you have to put your money. But yeah, thank you, Sudipta. We'll
Yeah.
chat later. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here.